Welcome to Biafra National Television and Radio, BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the state of Biafra. This is the brief, built on truth, courage and discipline. I'm your host, Pointer. We'll continue with part 3 of the address. That is the analysis, is a series, the part 3 on the address by His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, Head of State, PPG, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 4th year commemorative anniversary of the State of Biafra, on ORJI for Thursday, 30th October 2025. Excuse me. He recalled and stated Article 20, that is His Excellency, Article 20 of the African Union Charter on Human and People's Rights. Article 20 of 1 says, all people shall have the right to existence. They shall have the unquestionable and inalienable right to self-determination. They shall freely determine their political status and shall pursue their economic and social development according to the policy they have freely chosen. The 20 of 2 stated, colonized or oppressed peoples shall have the right to free themselves from the bonds of domination by resorting to any means recognized by the international community. Article 20 of 3 says all people shall have the right to the assistance of the states parties to the present charter in their liberation struggle against foreign domination, be it political, economic or cultural. If you followed up on what is this particular Article 20 of the African Union Charter on Human and People's Rights, is practically saying the indigenous people have the right to self-determination. They have the right to free themselves from the colonized British government. We have the right to free ourselves and even get assistance. With assistance or not, I think the Biafran provincial government have been able to exercise that unquestionable and inalienable right to self-determination. Article 21 of that same charter says, all people shall freely dispose of their wealth and natural resources. This right shall be exercised in the exclusive interest of the people. In no case be deprived of it. 2 says, in case of spoliation, the dispossessed people shall have the right on the lawful recovery of the property as well as to an adequate compensation. 3. That is 21 of 3. The free disposal of wealth and natural resources shall be exercised without prejudice to the obligation of promoting international economic cooperation based on mutual respect, equitable exchange, and the principles of international law. The 21 of 4 says, states parties to the present charter shall individually and collectively exercise the right to free disposal of their wealth and natural resources with a view to strengthening African unity and solidarity. 5 says, states parties to the present charter shall undertake to eliminate all forms of foreign economic exploitation, particularly that practiced by international monopolies, so as to enable their peoples to fully benefit from the advantage derived from their national resources. Article 22 of the Charter says, 1 says, all people shall have the right to their economic, social and cultural development with due regard to their freedom and identity and in the equal enjoyment of the common heritage of mankind. 22 of 2 says, states shall have the duty individually or collectively to ensure the exercise of the right to development. Article 23 of 1 says, all peoples shall have the right to national and international peace and security. The principles of solidarity and friendly relations implicitly affirmed by the Charter of the United Nations and reaffirmed by that of the Organization of African Unity shall govern relationships between states. 23 of 2 said, for the purpose of strengthening peace, solidarity, and friendly relations, state parties to the present charter shall ensure that a. Any individual enjoying the right of asylum under 12, freedom of movement, that is under Article 12, freedom of movement and residence of the present charter, shall not engage in subversing activities against his country of origin or any other state party to the present charter. 5. 2b. Rather, the authorities shall not be used as basis for subversive or terrorist activities against the people of any other state party to the present charter. His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, Head of State, VPG, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, also stated and cited Article 3 of the Atlantic Charter of 1941, which respect the right of all people to choose the form of government under which they will live, and they wish to see sovereign rights and self-government restored to those who have been forcibly deprived of them. When we summarize what the African Charter and what the Atlantic Charter of 1941 is trying to guarantee to us indigenous Biafrans as the peoples and the government of the state of Biafra, we have been given the right to express our right to self-determination as indigenous people. Is the ability of can we be able to sustain it as much as we can. And 4 years and counting, we have the state of Biafra. 2023, formally inaugurated, that is October 30th, the Biafran provincial government. We are moving as much as we can move, following the international humanitarian laws and of course international laws, regional and indigenous laws. The Article 51 of the UN Charter was also mentioned by His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB. That is, it's a legal basis, as a legal base for a state's inherent rights to use force in self-defense if an armed attack occurs against it. That is where you are going to put in the Biafran National Guard, which is the restored armed forces of the state of Biafra. A national army defends its people. A national army is instituted to defend its people. The army is one, is indivisible. That is the Biafran National Guard, comprising of the Biafran Army, Biafran Air Force, Biafran Navy, and the Biafran Legislative Force, are mandated in the context of Article 51 of the UN Charter to protect the lives and properties within the jurisdiction of the 31 provinces of the, including the national provincial capital, Dayton, of the state of Biafra. The UN Resolution 1240 established a provincial self-government for Kosovo under UN protection. That is during the UN mission. That is where the Biafran provincial government, if it can be done in Kosovo, it can be done it's already been done in the state of Biafra. We also talked about Arms Trade Treaty adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2013 to regulate international conventional arms trade, to prevent and eradicate illicit trade and diversion, which is stating to the entire world and to Biafrans that the state of Biafra with its armed forces have the legal right to provide arms for its armed force. That is the Biafran provincial government. The Biafran army has the legal right to provide arms for its army and divisions and other departments or wings of the Biafran armed forces, which is the Biafran National Guard, in trying to avoid terrorism, in trying to avoid violence in the administration of the Aru territories, which is where the Nigerian army and the Nigerian government, occupying Nigerian government, can quite agree. They have been able to visit and have some exchange of firepower, and they can say we have maintained international humanitarian law, and they have been violating it all the time. Also, in the speech or the address of the 4th commemorative anniversary of the state of Biafra, he stated he is honoring all Biafran great men and women, heroes and heroines who fought gallantly with their strength and great sacrifice in defending Biafran territories. And Biafran provincial government, which is the government of the state of Biafra, is guided by the principles of non-discrimination, equal protection of rights of all Biafran communities and tribes under the conduct of equal participation to political and decision making. He also mentioned that processes has already been adopted or shall be adopted as soon as possible to conduct and enshrine commitment to respect to human rights and fundamental freedoms of all Biafran citizens, particularly as defined, that is the laws and the administration of the state of Biafra will be defined by AU, UN and Atlantic Charter, and of course the Biafran Charter. We shall continue on the next broadcast of brief. That is, it will be a part 4 of the address of His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, the head of state, Biafran Provincial Government, PPG, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 40th commemorative anniversary of the state of Biafra, on ORJI Afo, 30th of October 2025. That brings me to the end of brief, built on truth, courage, and discipline. Biafran National Television and Radio, BNTVR, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the state of Biafra. I'm your host, Pointer. Take care.
The black man. Watch what you say. Bad man, you're gonna be proud where you come from. Send him message across the nation. Tell all the children of rising sun. Say I'm original Biafran. I'm original Biafran. Send my message across the nation. Tell all the children of rising sun. Say I'm original Biafran. Yeah, I'm original.